It's Hythlo. Hello. Isn't this a cool exhibit? Huh? The museum, the toilet museum. So someone made a toilet museum in Final Fantasy XIV. And it's amazing. It was created by @zzz_house on Twitter. And it was only open for 1 day on January 2nd, 2023. So I learned about the museum the night of through some Discord chatter. I had to drop everything I was doing to go see. I went in expecting to see some really cool glitches and toilet creations, which was true. However, I came out learning so much more. So here we are. Welcome. And to make this a digestible video for you, I have divided it up into a numbered list starting with number 1 and number 2. But first, let's talk about our sponsor, NoPing. NoPing is a VPN service that has been a lifesaver for my PC gameplay. It's very simple to use. Just download NoPing, find the game you'd like to play, click on a server near you. I like to use the other servers tab and then scroll down until I find my location. That works better for me. And then I click optimize gameplay. After that's all done, launch your game client. Always be sure to launch NoPing and optimize your game before launching your game client. And as you can see, you see results immediately. I'm running at about 5 ping now. NoPing took me from this everything's frozen to this. Don't move. Interesting. It has been a huge help, especially improving performance when raiding. Be sure to check out the free trial, and if you like the experience, be sure to use my code CHILLY for 20% off your subscription. And be sure to check out my full NoPing video linked above. Thanks, NoPing. Now, let's get back to the toilet museum. Number 1. The welcome sign. As you walk up to the house, you're greeted with a giant Hollywood toilet sign welcoming everyone into Toilet World. This is all created out of decks and a large O that was created out of the Leviathan fountain. Early on, I also decided that this was an interactive exhibit, so I walked across the entire thing because I zoned out, and when I do that, I end up making every surface in the game a jumping puzzle. Toilet. Oh, it's down the aisle and to your left. Number 2, the giant toilet. So our first of the toilets. The giant toilet really needed its own section. So this was my second favorite toilet. You can dip in for a swim. I really enjoyed walking along the seat and then jumping in. That was probably my favorite of the dive routines. It was created out of curved and straight marble partitions, the spooky sledge rug dyed a blue color, and a shower head. The coolest part was that it came with a giant roll of toilet paper created out of tiny real-sized people curtains. Now I was curious if there was a real-life giant toilet, and of course there is. It's located in Columbus, Indiana, a fairly populated town of about 45,000 people. I imagine that there's billboards that dominate the interstate skyline the closer you get that just have a kid sliding down a giant toilet. I decided to read a few reviews of the place, and my favorite was a parent writing, "I had to drag my son out," which sounds kind of horrific depending on how you read it. Luckily, the giant toilet I visited was easy to spacebar out of, so no problems here. Number 3. The surprise. There were a lot of wonderful surprises. So I'm not sure if this was a part of the experience, but I'm gonna pretend that it was. As you go through the hallway, there's a sink and then 2 stalls. I walk up to the first stall expecting a cool toilet design or a piece of art or something, and there was someone sitting there AFK on the toilet. I didn't know if I should leave or keep going, but instead of moving on or minding my own business, I decided to go back and check for some reason. I don't know why. I was hoping maybe he'd change poses like those performers at Disney that are dressed as statues, but he just stayed there. They were a fantastic scare actor. But if that was a part of the experience, then it was unexpected. And I think a relatable experience. I know that I have opened a stall with someone staring back at me, and then my heart goes to my throat, and then I make sure I use the stall the furthest away. So obviously, a really great comment on reality. Number 4. The toilet ride. Okay, so this is my favorite toilet. Next to the performance art piece is another stall. When you open up the stall, it may seem like a fancy Turkish toilet, but it is a trap door. You jump through the toilet into a jacuzzi. I cannot think of a better way of entering this museum. Disney should be taking notes. We need another Finding Nemo ride, except we are the subject of that girl with braces. I want to be given the full dead goldfish experience. Number 5, sitting toilets. Well, now we made it to the official exhibit. The first toilet I saw was a sink looking toilet. Unfortunately, you cannot sit on this piece, only look. So this one didn't impact me as much. Not my favorite, unfortunately, but it looked pretty. Next is this box toilet. It's very modern, futuristic, reminds me of a washing machine. I had to sit backwards, but that may have been due to weird Final Fantasy XIV physics. Number 6, Turkish toilets. We arrive at our first in-floor toilet, or Turkish toilet. So these are more popular in Eastern countries. I've never seen one before that was in use around me personally. These are also the reason you see those don't squat images on the above ground toilet. Here's a diagram of how to use a Turkish toilet in case you find yourself in this situation. This one had a latch though. I couldn't open it, but I tried. There are actually 2 Turkish toilets and one they made to have actual stuff inside. And you can see it. Number 7. Urinals. The museum did not leave out urinals. They had a basic wall urinal and then they had a waterfall urinal. They looked cool. The only thing I think about with the waterfall urinals is people treating them like a tourist attraction. Like, oh my God, I just peed in a waterfall. You could probably do that anywhere, honestly. I feel like the buildup of excitement about waterfall urinals came from the Discovery Channel's Top 10 Coolest Bathrooms TV show. But if that gets you excited, then I'm excited for you. Number 8, fancy. Now onto this ornate lion toilet. This is clearly a fantasy toilet, but it reminded me of other golden opulent toilet creations like these. It's just fun. I wish this actually existed, and if it does, please inform me. That's really the only reason I added this toilet to the video. I just really hope someone out there knows. Number 9, the Plunger. Now, here comes the star of the museum itself, the giant plunger. Embarrassingly, it took me a while to learn that this was a plunger. I thought at first it was an ancient toilet with giant plumbing, or I thought it was maybe like an old septic tank. I was thinking real hard. But no, it's a giant plunger to go with the giant toilet. I love it. I did search for the world's largest plunger, but it kept coming up with stuff like world's highest plunger trick shot, or most human targets hit with plungers in 1 minute. You know, the basic stuff, but no world's largest plunger. But I did find this really large plunger in New Bern, North Carolina. It is located in front of a small plumbing business. It's not deemed the world's largest, but it's pretty big. According to this article, the giant plunger had a toilet buddy, but Craven County wasn't happy with it and made Legacy Plumbing's owner dismantle it in fall of 2016. This story is really heartbreaking, and I hope that maybe we can help them get their giant toilet back. Number 10. The bike. So at this point, I was very casually enjoying the museum. I could pretty much easily identify what everything was, but when I first saw this, I had no idea what it was, what it was supposed to be. I thought it was a waist weight, not that I knew of a commercial poo weight before coming, or that if something like that even existed. But for some reason, the logic in my brain led me to poo weight. But no, those are wheels, and that's a handle, and the toilet is a seat, just like a motorcycle. So I Googled poop motorcycle expecting something weird, funny, or cursed, and I found a poop motorcycle, a fully functional, poop-powered, green energy motorcycle. So this got me thinking. When I first heard about the museum, I was thinking of making only a simple highlight video. But the more I started researching about toilets, the more I started discovering things about myself I didn't notice before. And I wasn't prepared for that. Number 11. The museum. After leaving, I started researching more and more about toilets. Different kinds of toilets, toilet technology, toilet culture, the way people react to different kinds of toilets based on where they're from.
I think they're the greatest thing in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is high praise.
Yes. No, they're great. They, you press a little button, it cleans your bottom, and then you walk away after it dries.
In the environment that I grew up in, people were even quiet about using the word bathroom. Hey, Emmett. What? I have to go to the... What? I have to go to the... Oh. I wanted to look further. But before I continue, I think it's important to note that I'm not an expert in any of this. I just thought that I should share my personal discoveries or my personal journey combined with information that I already knew, but I hadn't been confronted with certain nuances related to it until now. I was always aware that different cultures had different bathroom culture. That's obvious, but I just never approached it very seriously from my own perspective before. I mean, look, I'm wearing a poop emoji shirt. So I searched for toilet museums. I wanted to broaden what I already had learned or find some more references from the in-game museum. And I came across a few around the world, but one in particular stood out. The Toto Museum, previously known as Toyotoki. Toto is a Japanese multinational toilet manufacturer. The museum is located in Kitakiyushi to showcase the evolution of its business and product. I went to their website and was surprised to find that the Toto Museum has its own free virtual tours. And there's 3 floors. So I had to go. Even if I didn't discover anything related to the exhibit, I knew it'd be fun because I'd never been to an official virtual museum before. So first off, before we even get into the museum, my favorite part about the exhibit is every time you enter a new floor, you trigger the music theme. The best part is that it keeps building and gets more and more intense. It really sets the mood. Then after that music is done, it settles into a nice serene tone. I prefer the first song better. So I enter and here's the Turkish toilets. Oh, that looks like that box toilet we saw, almost exactly. Oh, the sink toilet. Was that what they meant? Wait, what is that? Is that what I think it is? The toilet bike? It's here? It's here, the toilet bike is here? Oh my God, that's it. It's real. It's history. It's legendary. I can't believe it. Did all of this inspire the Final Fantasy XIV version? It's a mystery, but all I can say is probably. When I came to the Final Fantasy XIV Toilet Museum, I honestly was like, that'll be funny. And it was. Toilets are funny, and they always will be. Giant toilets and giant plungers are inevitably funny. But there was an element there that I wasn't quite taking seriously. The education. Just exposing people to these different kinds of toilets can send folks like me on a rabbit trail of information. Toilets can create power. Toilets have many forms and shapes and vary where you go. The culture of conversation around toilets changes where you go. The exhibit wasn't just made to show off cool toilet builds in Final Fantasy XIV, but to educate people on all of the above, all within the confines of Final Fantasy XIV. A video game. So what will people create next? What is possible in the world of Final Fantasy XIV? And also, what will you do? Thank you to my patrons, with a special thank you to my mentor chilies, Kianara, City Spacer, and M. Rollins. Sorry, I'm back. Where did you go? Oh, I just took a... Yeah. All right, ready to eat?